With the liberalization policy of the Government of India, the situation has seen a positive upward swing to the greater advantage of the coffee growers.
I represent corporate sector. So liberation, well, we are quite happy with that. Because if you are allowed to go for free exports, I'm sure we will be able to make more money if our Commerce Minister allows us to go for depooling.
Earlier days, our job was entirely different. Just produce, bulk produce, however produce is not our problem. Produce and bulk it, dispatch it. That was job of the manager, planter, or whatever it is. Because rest was taken care by coffee board. As on today's scenario is entirely different. You have to produce, you have to, how you produce and what you produce is the most important. Unless you achieve a total quality coffee, you should not have any edge on over others. To achieve this quality coffee, you have to start from the beginning, from the seed material, as I said, cultural cooperation, and water input, micronutrients, manure, just to make it a clean, full-fledged bean.
The planters who are preparing coffee for exports have also learned a very big lesson after liberalization. Quality pays. Quality pays. Quality is the one and the only thing. Even when there is plenty, they can sell their coffee.
Coffee processing is an art and science. Post-harvest processing technology plays an important role not only in preserving but also in improving the quality. Whether it is internal market or export market, the quality of coffee has its own value. The buyers purchase coffee only after examining the moisture content and the cup quality. The overseas buyers import Indian coffee on description or sample basis. Their requirements mostly depend upon the types of blends of roasted and ground coffee manufactured by them. While some look for high acidity and full-bodied plantation coffee, others prefer medium acidity and soft or sweet cup. Most buyers have their own quality specifications in respect of defect count, such as presence of blacks, greens, foreign matter, insect damaged beans.
As far as the quality requirements of the importers are concerned, they want a reliable, equal, homogeneous quantity on a regular basis, which is not possible for us. All the 12 months, say for example plantation coffee, after June it fades. It will not have the same color, though it can give a good cup, it will not have the same visual look.
The growers are expected to take all necessary steps to ensure that the quality standards laid down for Indian coffee do not undergo any dilution under the changed system of marketing of coffee. The quality standards for different types and grades of coffee are the moisture standards, grading standards, and garbling or sorting specifications. While the estate level processing ensures the moisture standards, the grading and garbling standards have to be strictly maintained by curing works. According to Section 3D of the Act, curing means application to raw coffee mechanical processes other than pulping for the purpose of preparing it for marketing. In India, there are about 44 coffee curing factories situated in Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, with one curing factory located in the non-traditional coffee growing area of Assam. The curing capacity of each of them is fixed by considering their drying, machine and storage capacity. Curing includes peeling, grading and garbling. Immediately on receipt of raw coffee from the planters, the drying standard is checked by the test weight method if it is not done at the estate level. Now, the coffee is first passed through a stone and stick acclimator, then passed to the huller or peeler cum polisher, and from there to the horizontal or vertical winnowers. Coffee is next allowed into the pre-grader where the bits are separated. It then passes through the sizers or graders where different grades of coffees such as PB, A, B and C are separated. Electronic sorting machines remove slightest and minute discolored beans at high accuracy and speed.
Computers which we use in our processing plant to control the color sorters. These computers are specially designed with the software in them and the hardware. We can switch on and switch off a color sorter through there. We can see the status of how the color sorter is working, the performance of the color sorter, and to get reports out of them. A color sorter is what we use for removing defective beans from a good coffee bean. Normal coffee which we get from the estate has got blacks, brokens, and then bleached beans and brown beans. These has to be removed.
After the garbling process, the coffee lot is outturned and the quantity of each of the grades weighed and recorded. Samples for visual assessment are drawn. Different lots of coffee cured and outturned separately are bulked later based on the region of growth. Even for the packing and storing of cured coffee, there are certain norms which determine the quality of coffee.
One thing which I have to repeatedly tell is that Coffee Board has taught us how to prepare a quality coffee which is acceptable to an importer outside India. The coffee that is grown in this Giri area is one of the best in the world, which is comparable with the best coffee that is Colombian coffee in the world. In cup and other things, it is very near to the Colombian coffee as far as the Giri coffees are concerned. Particularly for Indian coffee, particularly for Arabica parchment, the coffee that is processed and sold within June for washed coffee, we have got a very good market. From the international point of view, the liberalization or no liberalization as far as the quantity of coffee grown in India do not exceed 3% of the world production. So, we do not have the capacity to influence the market anyway. And out of that 3%, 1.5% is Robusta and 1.5% is Arabica. So, what happens is in the international market, our presence is very much limited. Because of the liberalization and all those things, the quantity available for export remains the same. Though the quantum of internal consumption might have gone up a little, that has been offset by the increased production in the new strains, new areas, and intensive cultivation methods that have been introduced by the planters and all those things. The production has gone up. The production has gone up, the consumption has gone up, the exportable quantity has gone up. All those things are true, 100% true. But because of the low percentage of Indian presence that we can make an influence, it is not possible.
Indian coffee is very well accepted. There is a good challenge also. There are a lot of other big countries who are supplying coffee. We are trying to compete with big nations. We are trying to develop our own grades also. All these years we were giving the coffee what is available with us, the grade what we are making. Now this unit we are trying to give grades what is required by our buyers. Now Coffee Board with the free market system, in the marketing area they have very little scope to do. But they can do very well in research, in development of coffee production in the country. They have got a very great scope and very responsible job to do still in the country.
The Quality Control Division of the Coffee Board besides monitoring the quality standards at the estate and curing levels, also evaluates the coffee quality by visual analysis and cup tasting. Of course, in the changing scenario, this role will be marginalized. For visual analysis, all coffee samples are assessed for quality in comparison with a standard FAQ or fair average quality sample of the respective type and grade. This FAQ is prepared at the commencement of each season from the principal grades of these four types: Plantation A, Arabica Cherry AB, Robusta Parchment AB, and Robusta Cherry AB. The moisture content of the original sample, that is of 750 grams, is first determined prior to visual assessment. Moisture meter operator records the moisture percentage from kappa moisture meter on the classification statement. The samples received from different curing factories or estates are visually assessed by a trained panel of assessors. At each sitting, 18 samples are evaluated by a panel comprising 3 assessors. The quality characteristics like coating, foxy beans, color, boldness of size, undersized beans and defective beans for plantation A coffee are recorded on a scorecard. Same way, there are different characteristics incorporated for other grades. The percentage of undersized beans is assessed by sieving the sample on the prescribed standard test sieve. On visual assessment, the award is granted. If the planters are not satisfied with the award given to the coffee, they have the right to prefer an appeal. The quality of coffee is also evaluated by cup tasting. Taste is a complex subjective sensation imparted to the palate and nostrils through the mouth. It can be pleasant or unpleasant experience. The samples are first roasted to medium standard roast, that is, more than 200 degrees centigrade.
The lower one is the 0, 50, 100, 150 and 200 degrees centigrade. So we are roasting actually 180 to 200, in between 180 to 210 degrees centigrade. We are taking 50 grams of samples to taste 2 cups of liquor. That is sufficient to taste 2 cups of liquor. We are taking 10 grams of samples.
The roasted coffee is cooled and ground to a powder of standard mesh. Ten grams of this powder is taken into a glass and 200 milliliters of boiling water is poured. The aroma is then judged. After 6 minutes, the floating particles are removed, and when the brew cools to a palatable temperature, it is ready for tasting. The brew is sucked with a deep inhalation of air so as to spray the inner portion of the mouth. The taster then disgorges the brew. During the short time the brew is in the mouth, the taster registers the strength or body of the liquor, its level of acidity and flavor. Any undesirable characteristics such as harsh, musty, woody, cheesy, grassy, sour, bitter, foul, or any taint is also detected.
While tasting, we are not talking each other because there are so many samples to taste. For each and every samples, we are not deciding and we are not writing results immediately. Therefore, we are having certain codes. Suppose we keep the cup at the edge of the table. This is an excellent cup. We are giving A grade to that one. Suppose a coffee is good, we are keeping just away from the roasted plate. And suppose if a coffee is average, we are placing in touch with the roasted plate. Suppose if coffee is having here, we kept like this. This is a bad cup. It is having off taste called fruity or sometimes overripe. For that, we are not giving any points or any award. This is just E grade, and we are recording as off taste.
Cup tasting is an art by which the intrinsic qualities of coffee, such as flavor, aroma, body, and acidity, are unveiled for exploitation in blending. It is predominant and well-known method of evaluation the world over as a tool to purchase. Reputed firms trading in coffee have their own cup tasting establishments.
So this one is also B grade. Again, this one is C, average cup. This one is also average, C grade. This one is also average, C. And this is having off taste. We are giving E, and I am recording off taste as overripe.
The cup tasting unit selects and classifies plantation coffees based on liquor tests and advises curers in preparing bulks of coffee for the export market. It executes the scheme of awards of premium points for good plantation and provides an incentive to the planters to produce quality coffee.
For fine cup, we are giving 3 premium points, and in addition to 3 premium points, we are giving 2 incentive points. That is total 5 points for the fine cup. And for good cup, we are giving 2 premium points and 1 incentive point. That is total 3 points. And for average cup, we are giving 1 premium point and off incentive award. That is total 1.5 points. For the coffees which are having off taste, or we are not for off taste, we are not giving any award for that off taste coffee.
Particularly for giving the standards.
Cup tasting calls for a keen perception of smell and taste and the faculty for discerning delicate shades of difference in them.
For evaluating this quality of the coffee, still it is cup tasting considered as the most important test. So basically our human beings, for tasting, tongue is very important, and find out these flavors. Of course, with the help of nose we can find out different flavors. So basically to find out a person is able to differentiate different tastes, initially a basic test will be conducted, like to find out whether a person is able to find out the basic taste like sweet, salt, bitter, soap, like that. Similarly, the flavors also they expose a person with artificial, so many with different types of synthetic materials. Initially we give them to test whether a person is able to differentiate different flavors. Like that, after making to acquaint with the basic tastes and flavors, gradually we familiarize the person, and also you will, through training, you will learn how to differentiate different flavors, different concentration.
The sensitivity of a taster is subject to variations and is influenced by the time of tasting and the health of the taster. Most ideal time is approximately an hour after breakfast. Tasting should not be done either on an empty stomach or immediately after a meal. The taster should preferably be a teetotaler and a non-smoker. The health condition of the taster is very important, as any disorder of the human system would affect the sensory efficiency. Metabolism and age also have a similar influence on taste. The quality of coffee is influenced by the plant material, culture practices, and processing techniques. The cup quality is affected by a number of factors during processing, both at the estate and at the curing works.
My only appeal to the growers is we should definitely maintain the quality of the coffee what we supply, because one of the things what the world is looking at is the coffee world which the coffee is consumed. Minus the coffee board, they feel that the quality might come down, but we should prove them wrong.
Found it to be an extremely good coffee, and one where you could always be sure that the quality would come as per the contract. And over the years, Indian coffee, I think, has gained recognition, especially in the gourmet markets of Europe.
Now another market is also slowly emerging, that is the Japanese market. Japanese, the total consumption was very low. Now they drink about 6 lakh tons a year. That is about 50,000 tons a year. As you know, the Japanese are very fussy about the quality, the commitment and all those things. If those things are met, they will pay about $10 to $15 more every per ton every time.